Okay, hello, this is Dr. James, and today I'm going to teach you how to make mercury. There we go, a bunch of mercury there, from Cinnabar. Cinnabar is a compound with mercury and sulfur in it. I believe it's Hg2s, two mercuries and a sulfur. Okay, I tried a few different things that didn't work, and I found one technique that works pretty good. So you can always learn from other people's mistakes. Let's check it out. Okay. Hello, this is Dr. James, and today we're going to talk about how to make mercury. Okay? So, let's take a look at our setup here. We have a old tire that someone was generous enough to leave out here in this field. And I have, let's take a look at this stuff. Okay, so I have a tort here that I built, and I have my torch, my blue wrench, and I ordered some, well, let's talk about mercury for a second. Mercury is a fun thing to have, you know. Remember, it is poisonous, so you've got to be careful about it, and so don't eat it, don't breathe the fumes, but it's great for doing science experiments, but it's impossible to buy anymore. And so, let's take a look here. This is what they call Cinnabar. They use it for pottery or something. I don't know. You cannot buy mercury anymore. This stuff is super heavy. I mean, let's take a look at this. This is super heavy stuff. So this bag is kind of a reddish color. You can tell that it's got a heavy metal in it. So it's 2 mercuries and 1 sulfur, mercury sulfide or Cinnabar, and you can buy this through the mail still. It's impossible to get mercury anymore. Anyway, so if you want to do experiments with mercury, you have to make your own, I guess. So I'm going to teach you how. Hopefully, I've never done this before, but let's take a look at the theory here. So here is my tort thing, and what it is it's 2. Here I got a pipe on the bottom, and I'm going to make this into. Well, let me just take a closer look at this, okay? Okay, let's take a look at our setup here. Yes, unfortunately it's raining today. It's the only time I get to do stuff because the criminal state robs me of all my time and all my money. And so, unfortunately, I have to do things when I can. Okay, anyway, let's take a look here. Here's our fancy tire that someone left here for us to use in our experiment. And here is my tort, and it's 2 pieces of pipe. Let's just separate it. So I have a outer piece of pipe, which I used Teflon tape here at the bottom to make sure it's sealed watertight. I'm going to make this into a water trap. So I'm going to put some water in there, a little bit of water, and I did bring some water along. Okay. So this will. So what's going to happen is that the Cinnabar breaks down at about 580 Celsius, okay? And mercury boils at a lower temperature, about 356, and so there's going to be a lot of mercury. So the idea is we're going to take the Cinnabar, here's a Cinnabar, and this is really heavy stuff, okay? And we're going to subject it to high temperature inside this tort. I'm going to stick it in this little end cap. So gravity will hold it here, and basically it will get really hot and break down, and hopefully any vapor or fumes will go through this down into the water trap. And if there's mercury or whatever, let me put a little more water in there. I want to make sure that there's enough water to trap any mercury fumes. So the mercury is basically going to evaporate when it gets hot enough to break apart the mercury sulfide. The mercury is definitely going to evaporate, and you want to not have those fumes coming out because you're going to lose mercury. You don't want to breathe them also. So let's see. So there we go. So all right, put enough water in there so it traps whatever's in there. So I'm going to put the mercury inside of this little cap here, and if any mercury fumes evaporate, they'll come up around here and then go down there. I did use some silver solder around here to try to seal up the threads because it's going to get super hot here. It's got to be over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 580 degrees Celsius to break this these bonds here up. And okay, the tire here is going to be our stand for our little tort thing. And it's going to be a fun project, I can tell you that much. And I gotta stick some. I'm just going to put a little bit in here. I've not tried this before. I'm going to try to crank these threads up tight because they're not going to be sealed very well. I mean, it'll be a better seal here than it is probably for it to come through the water trap, bubble up. But we'll see how this works. Okay. So let me take this apart. I screwed it on pretty tight. I needed a pipe wrench for that. Let's see, where is my pipe wrench? Brought a whole bag full of stuff to work on this project. So I want to do it outside. I don't want to have a bunch of mercury fumes on the inside. So there, we got our pipe wrench so we can loosen this up. And I brought some buckets and other things, so just in case I spill stuff. Anyway, let's see if we can make some mercury. I got my torch here too, so we can heat it up. Okay, so here we are, out in the beautiful wilderness. My tort thing here, and my Cinnabar right here. Let's take this thing apart. Take off this end cap here. See what we can put that Cinnabar inside of there. Okay, here we got our tort thing here, and I'm going to take this end cap off of here. There we go. Actually, I wonder, I may just have to deal with this. Okay, so here's our end cap, and I did bring a secondary containment vessel in case I have to use it. Let's just see, we'll look at the Cinnabar. Try opening this stuff up and see if we can put a little bit into this cap. Okay. Oh, look at this. This stuff is so heavy. It just feels like it's a pound right there, I guess. Oh, come on. Pound of Cinnabar. Okay. Let's see if I can find a flat place to put this down. Let me take this out of here for a second. But I can't because I put water in it already. Let's just put it like that. Come on. Here we go. A little bit into that cap. Okay, there we go. Let's take a look in there. Here we got some Cinnabar in the bottom, and I'm just gonna, let me just stick this in here. And we'll put this back onto our tort here. Okay. Let's see, which way do I screw this thing? I think it goes like that. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to tighten this up pretty good. A wrench here. And I think we might be ready to try this thing out, see how it works. Okay, here we go. Got my torch here, Hopefully there's propane in there, I didn't check that. And this thing doesn't ignite by itself anymore. So I need to... Come on, really? There we go. Torch going. And we'll try heating up this end cap here so it gets hopefully over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll see if we can make some mercury. Okay, there we go. Now we got a good flame on it. Let's try heating this guy up and see if we can make some mercury. Hopefully the water should be bubbling up through here. We get it hot enough. Okay. There we go. Very cool, huh? Just sit on this bag that I brought out here. Sit in the dirt. Oops. I thought you could have this much fun on a rainy day, right? So it's doing something fun. See the smoke coming off of this thing. Right here. Okay, well, let me just cook on this for a while and come back a little bit later and see how the thing turns out. Okay, here's another advantage of using an old tire. Look at that, you can lay the benzene, the benzomatic burner right across the tire so it will just automatically hold it there for you. Oh, there we go. Let's get it all positioned good. Very cool, huh? Isn't that a beautiful sight? I wonder if the water's boiling down there. Inside, I can't see it. But I bet there should be some fumes or something coming up from there. Anyway, we'll let this thing cook for a while, see what happens. Okay, I turned the torch up a little bit. Is it me, or does it look like there's yellow sulfur forming around that cap? Maybe it's leaking out through the threads or something. I don't know. It's getting pretty hot, huh? Look at that. Very cool, huh? Okay, we've been running this torch for about 10 minutes. Let's take a look here. That thing is kind of glowing red hot. I hope it got hot enough. I'm going to, I think, let this thing sit here for a while and cool off, hopefully. See, the raindrops are like making instant steam when they hit it. And we'll open it up and see if it worked or not. Very cool, huh? Mercury making machine, Mercury torch, and what would you call that? disassociator. Very cool, huh? Okay, well, let's pack up and we'll let it cool off for a while because it's got to be pretty hot, and we'll come back and check on it and see how it worked. Okay, here we are. Let me see. Oh, here I got my tort here, and it's cooled down enough. Let's come on. We'll take this thing inside and see how it came out. See if we got any mercury or not. Should be interesting. Very cool, huh? Okay, here we go. We got our tort in here, and let's. I'm just gonna take this top part out of here. Okay, like so. Okay. There we go. I'll try to hold it upright for a while. Maybe I'll stick this in there, just in case it's leaking any mercury or anything. Set this guy aside. Okay. Let's take this guy. You can see down there. Should be interesting. Let me turn on the light. Look down inside there. Okay. Kind of hard to see. Let me dump the water into our container here and see if we got any mercury in the bottom. Okay. Oh, it's hard for me to see down there. Okay. Oh gosh. Anyway. Oh. I'm not seeing. Is there any mercury in there? Not seeing any beads rolling around. Let me clean off the bottom. There's a bunch of water droplets on the bottom. Make it hard to see. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Let me try taking apart the top part up here. I'm gonna need my. Look at that. Here, let me turn off the light. See, it definitely looks like yellow around here, like sulfur. Okay, very cool. Let me get my pipe wrench and we'll see if we can take the top part apart and see what's inside that cap. Okay, here we got our pipe wrench here. Let's try loosening up this cap, okay? I'm gonna need 2 hands for that. Okay, so here is our cap. Take this guy off. A moment of truth. Oh, of course it's gonna come off. What the heck? What the heck is on the inside of there? I'm gonna have to use a pipe wrench and take this part apart. I wanted the cap just to come off, and the nipple came off with it. Let me try to get the cap off too. Okay, I was not able to get this apart. I tried 2 wrenches, and it's really stuck together. Let me just see if I can. Oh, look at that. What the hell is that stuff? A bunch of stuff came out. It doesn't look like Cinnabar anymore. It's floating on top of the water. What the heck is that stuff? Let's try banging this. See if anything else comes out. there's a bunch of junk that came out of that. Huh. Whatever it is, it sealed these two parts together really, really tightly. I don't know, I'm going to have to fiddle with this and see what the hell that is. Very strange. Okay, so here is the stuff that I got out of the tort. And it doesn't look too much like mercury, does it? I have a theory that maybe either it oxidized, I got it too hot, or maybe there was maybe zinc on the galvanized parts and it amalgam with the zinc. If that's the case, maybe I can clean the mercury up by putting some hydrochloric acid on it. And of course, muriatic acid is really, let's see, it's hydrochloric, HCl. Okay, sometimes they don't put the chemicals on there anymore because they like to be sneaky about what they're selling you. Anyway, muriatic acid. Let's try putting a little bit of acid on this and see if our mercury comes out. Okay, should be interesting. Okay, taking off the lid, and there's like a little plastic seal over the top. Okay. Okay, there we go. Let's take some out of there. We'll try putting it on the mercury and see what happens. Or this garbage, whatever it is. Let's see if it changes form. Well, it looks like it's eating up something in there. I see some stuff swirling around and bubbling right there. I see some bubbles coming out of it. Now we'll add some more acid. Maybe to this big chunk here. And we'll see what comes out of this. Okay. Okay, well, we'll just add a little bit more and I'll let it sit and we'll see what happens. Should be interesting. Okay, so I let this stuff sit in hydrochloric acid for about 24 hours. And I think it dissolved some stuff, but I was hoping that it would produce some liquid mercury by dissolving whatever the mercury's amalgam with, but now I'm thinking it might be mercury oxide. Of course, mercury oxide is orange. I don't know. Let me, okay, I'm working on some mercury over here. And mercury amalgams with sodium as well. If you do electrolysis and you put sodium chloride in there, or I use sodium hydroxide, sodium will go into the mercury and amalgam with it, and then you can use that to reduce things. So let me maybe take a little bit of this mercury is stick it in with this other stuff and see if it amalgams with it and reduces it. Maybe I'm hoping this is oxidized mercury or something, and maybe it will turn it back into regular mercury. We'll try that. Okay, so here's our mercury. And you have to kind of pick it up at a very steep angle like so, because it will actually drip out. And let's put some in there and see what happens. There we go. See if this stuff amalgams anything in there. Okay, come on. I'm not sure if it's getting any bigger or not. Okay, let's see. Let's run it around there some more. Almost seems like it's picking the stuff up. Plus it's just pushing it around. Anyway, this is a good way to clean mercury if you have some metals in there that is amalgam with that are dissolved by hydrochloric acid. I'm going to try a different process in a little bit, maybe. We'll see. Okay, so I think, well, let's see. Let's take a look over here. Put this back away for a little bit. Took the mercury back out of there. I think I might have absorbed some of the black stuff out of there. And seal it back up and let it sit for a while I try to put some more sodium into the mercury through electrolysis. Okay, you can see all the water spinning around there. And we'll try it again and see if we can absorb some more of that mercury. Okay, well, the still here, let's see, where's my still here? This guy here didn't quite work out the way I thought it would, or hoped it would. So let's try a different method here. We got our Cinnabar. It's really, really heavy. You can tell there's some heavy metals in there. It's super heavy. Let's, one of my all-time heroes, the radioactive Boy Scout. If you ever read about him, he built a nuclear reactor in his backyard. He wanted to do his atomic Boy Scout badge, and I guess he succeeded. But the way he made his thorium, okay, this is aluminum. Remember, aluminum is the main energy source in a thermite reaction. Okay, it is a huge amount of power. It's a very strong reducing agent. Well, I think what we're going to try to do is put our Cinnabar, wrap it up inside the aluminum. So what the radioactive Boy Scout did is he used like boiling grease, and he made a big ball and put the thorium in the middle of it and boiled it until it basically had a thermite reaction with aluminum and reduced. So we'll see if we can do this with the mercury, and hopefully maybe by keeping it in a small area with not a lot of oxygen and around a strong reducing agent, maybe we can keep the mercury as a metal, maybe not run the torch as long, try to be a little bit more careful. And so let's get started. Okay, so I got my aluminum foil here. I got 2 sheets of it. I'm gonna probably try to fold it up so it's thicker, so I don't want the mercury to leak out. I'm gonna probably get some kind of secondary containment and do this outside, definitely, because you don't want to breathe in the mercury fumes. Mercury is poisonous. That. Okay. Here, let me remount this. Okay, so I got a big old chunk of aluminum. Let me fold this a couple more times. Maybe that's enough. And let me get our Cinnabar here out. And we will. Guess it got wet the other day because I had to do my experiments in the rain. You know what? I might unfold it one more time and put it right in the middle here. Okay. We'll just pour some into the middle of our aluminum foil thing here. Give it a little test. Okay. That's probably enough to test out the concept. We'll seal up our bag again. Save this for later. Okay. And let's fold. So I got this in the fold of our aluminum foil. I'll fold it and maybe fold it up on either side, like so. Okay. And hopefully it will all stay in there, and I'm going to try to make it so the fumes just, if there's any fumes, they'll have to come out this way. Maybe they'll cool down from going through the aluminum. And I'll just heat up the back side here, and hopefully this will reduce back here, and if any fumes try to escape, hopefully they will condense in here or something, not get out. Don't want to lose the mercury and don't want to breathe those fumes. Okay, so there we have a nice little package, and we'll try heating it with a torch from this side. Very cool, huh? Okay, so our last experiment didn't work quite as well as I anticipated. So we're going to try reducing mercury with the same process that the radioactive Boy Scout used. I got a steel pan here, so hopefully that will hold up to the heat and not interact with the mercury. And I put our aluminum thingy with the Cinnabar in the middle of it, in the pan, and we will try heating this guy up and seeing if we can reduce the mercury. Very cool, huh? Okay, here we go. We got our aluminum foil thing in here. Got the Cinnabar inside of there. And here is our torch. We'll get that thing going. Okay, there. So let's Let's just heat this thing up and see if we can get some mercury out of the sky. I think last time I overheated it and evaporated it and oxidized it, and it's really hard to get it back now. Sounds like a campfire. It's crackling. I see some stuff happening underneath the aluminum. It's bubbling up and stuff. Okay. Okay, anyway, let's shut this guy down. Maybe we'll open that up and see if we were able to liberate any mercury. I think I'll just work on the side of caution a little bit this time. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We have our aluminum thing here. Now let's just take a look on the inside. I was erring on the side of caution this time and not heating it so much. Let's see if we got anything. Oh, looks like everything turned black, and maybe it amalgamed with the aluminum. Everything's looking pretty black in there though. Okay. Looks like we made a hole in the aluminum and the stuff's coming out the bottom. So maybe I'll have to put this on hydrochloric acid and see what comes out of that. Okay, very cool. Oh, chunks are dropping out. Okay, well, we'll try that. Okay, so there is our Cinnabar after we cooked it. It looks a little bit shiny in there. I'll try sticking that on hydrochloric and see what we get out of it. Okay, so here's our stuff. Let's take a look here. That we got out of cooking our Cinnabar inside of aluminum foil. And my first guess is hopefully it just amalgam with the aluminum. If I put it in acid, maybe that will clear it up. Let me put this stuff. I'm gonna have to put this stuff in the Petri dish. I got too much stuff up here. Petri dish. Let me just put some of this stuff in there. And we'll try putting some hydrochloric acid on it maybe. And here we got more stuff in here. Look at this. I might cut some of that aluminum foil out because maybe the mercury amalgam with that. And we'll see if we can turn any of this into liquid mercury. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so here we have our muriatic acid, and I'm not going to deal with the aluminum yet. I'm just going to put these chunks in there, and let's see what happens. We add acid to this stuff. I see some smoke and stuff coming off. It looks like it is eating up something. Definitely eating up something. Maybe I'll take some of this aluminum foil that I suspect is amalgamed with mercury and cut that out and stick that in the acid and see if we get any liquid out of that. Okay. Let me just take a little snip here. This aluminum foil is miscolored. Okay. Okay, there it is. See if we can take a good look at that. Let's try sticking that in the acid and see what happens. Oh wow. Look at that. It's definitely eating that up. I have to look a little bit closer, but I'm not sure if I see any balls of mercury in there. Not really seeing anything rolling around. Okay, so far I've been kind of unsuccessful about turning Cinnabar into mercury. I'm just going to take a little bit out of here. Let's see how am I going to do that. I have this piece of glass thing I was using for a vacuum tube. I'll just scoop a little bit out and put it on here. Okay. Let's just give this a test. I'll put our Cinnabar back there. And I have my high voltage generator here. Oh, come on. Okay. And we'll see how this works. Look at that, it's turning black already. Oh. Is that working? Huh. Let me take a closer look. I can't tell. It looks like there might be some tiny beads of mercury in there. I need to put a little bit more on there. Let's see if we can make some big balls of mercury. Put a little bit more on there. We'll try it out some more. Okay. There might be some tiny beads in there. Okay, I grabbed a little bit more. I'll just make another thin layer here. This stuff. Thin it out a little bit. I will try zapping this some more. And the reason why I think this is kind of a good idea is that mercury is a conductor, so it's not going to heat up as much when the arc goes through it. And the cinnabar is a non-conductor, so it's going to heat up more. So it's going to selectively heat up the cinnabar and hopefully doesn't evaporate the mercury too much. Very cool, huh? I am your father, Luke. Oh, come on. I am the Emperor. Very cool, huh? It's definitely changing color, so it's definitely doing a chemical reaction on it. And the plasma is super hot. Should be hot enough to reduce the cinnabar to mercury. Okay, let me take a closer look at this. Okay. I think I see some chunks of metal in there. Spread this out a little bit more. There's still a lot that's not reduced. I see a bunch of red stuff in there. Okay. Try. Running this some more. Okay, so there, I spread it out a little bit more so I can get some of the red stuff. It's not been reduced. And we'll do this a few more times. We'll see if we can't get some little balls of mercury or something in there. Okay. Very cool, huh? Okay. Turn on our generator thing again. Okay. Wow. Definitely turning black. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I put a glass shield around the screwdriver, and I think I'll make a little mound and just see if I can just blast it right in the side of there. Okay. And then hopefully it won't evaporate because it'll be trapped inside of this glass thing. We can just blast it. Now let's see if we can make any progress this way. Let it cool down. Oh, did it break the glass? Oh my god. Looks like the stuff baked on inside the glass. Okay. Turn the high voltage on. Very cool, huh? Got a little arc going in the middle. Oh. It gets really white and it starts to short out. Okay, so let's look in here. Here is our torch thing. Oh. So we got a bunch of stuff stuck up in the inside of it. So we can tap this stuff out. What is that? Oh, is that mercury? Doesn't really look too much like mercury yet. Starting to ball up, or starting to stick together though. Okay. See if we see anything in this mess over here. I don't know, I don't see anything too big. Of course, what are these things up here? Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Okay, let's try a different strategy. Here is basically a pipe cap and little pipe thread. I used it for my other torch or still for the mercury, and it didn't work so well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try another sample. I'm just going to put some of this just a little bit of, I may have to put the camera down for this. Okay, so here's our little pipe piece, and I have some Cinnabar here with the mercury in it. I'm just going to add a little bit of this to our pipe thing here. Where did I want to spill? Let me put this under here. A little bit of Cinnabar in there. Okay. And let's put that away. Okay, so we got the Cinnabar in there, and I'm going to put some salt up here to try to catch any of the mercury as it evaporates. The salt will provide a lot of surface area, and then you can dissolve the salt away easily with water and try to recover the mercury out of the salt. So we'll see if we can't catch our our mercury in the salt, and hopefully get some liquid mercury out of this guy here. Should be interesting. Okay, we'll give it a try. I'm going to take this outside because I don't want a bunch of mercury vapors on the inside of the house. Okay, so here we are in the great outdoors, and I have my little container with some Cinnabar at the bottom and salt at the top to hopefully catch any mercury fumes and recondense them, and then we can always dissolve the salt in water easily and hopefully be left with our liquid mercury. This project a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be so far. Got our blue torch thing here. Get this thing going. See the flame out here. Okay, there we go. It's about impossible to see the flame. Okay, so let's get this thing going. We'll try heating this guy up. Closer. Let's see this. Turn it up. And there we go. Down on the inside. See the salt's in there. Running this for a while with this heat up a lot. This thing cooking. Let's see if we can't get some liquid mercury out of the Cinnabar. It's so bright out here, I can't see the flame. I can see the air rippling around it though. Okay, so 3 minutes, 10 seconds. So keep track of the time. Very cool, huh? It's got a lot of heat. I'm using a table salt because it's just soluble in water, and I think its melting temperature is about 1,700 C or something like that. I'll have to look it up. It's very high temperature before it melts. It's a very refractory metal material. Yeah, it's cheap to get too. Okay. I think I see some smoke coming off of this. See that? Some smoke coming off of this guy. sulfur coming out and not the mercury leaving. Okay. Well, maybe, let's see, how long do we let it run? That's maybe a minute or two, a couple minutes. See that? There's smoke coming off of this thing. Try not to breathe that in. Okay. I'm gonna let this cool down for a while, and we'll see what we got out of it, out of this thing. Okay. Very cool. Okay, wow, this thing is still super hot, even though I brought it in the house. Let's try this. There's some water here. I'll just try to cool it down in the water a little bit. Okay. And hopefully I'll be able to dump this out soon and we can see if we got anything or not. Maybe I didn't run it long enough, who knows. Okay. Okay, here we go. So we have our steel pipe thing, nipple with a cap on it, filled with salt and Cinnabar at the bottom. And it's kind of cooled off enough that I can kind of hold it now. Let's try dumping the salt into here and seeing if we got anything good. Looks like some of it, well, let's take a look here. Some of it was not completely reduced, it looks like. Some of it's still orangish color. Okay. Oh. Here's my special glass tool thing. Looks like some of the salt kind of caked down around. That's weird, it formed like a solid core around this stuff. I'm not seeing any liquid mercury yet. Looks like a lot of this stuff was reduced. Maybe I needed to let it run a little bit longer. Last time I ran it too long. If you run it too long, then you can't go back. If I don't run it long enough, I might be able to put some water on this. Let's take a look here. And dissolve the salt. I have RO water, reverse osmosis, so I'm not adding more junk to this stuff. We'll see if we can see any mercury in there. Okay. Looks like there's still a lot of red stuff in there. I have to run this for a little bit longer next time. There's still a lot of red stuff not reduced. Okay. I'm not seeing any balls of mercury though. Not yet, at least. definitely think I needed to run it for a lot longer than that. Okay. Okay, here we go for a second attempt. I'm really trying to heat the thing up for a long time this time. And we got the salt back in there on top. And let's see how this plays out. Okay. I'll let it cool off for a little bit. It's smoking. Hope that's not the mercury boiling off. Okay. I don't want to get it too hot, so I've been cycling it, letting it cool off and heating it up. We'll see how that works. Okay. Seems to be smoking. Okay, this is interesting. I've been running it for a while. It looks like there is some black stuff coming up through the salt now. After I've been heating it and cycling it several times. Okay. I haven't seen that before. That's very cool. Okay, this time it got super hot, and I saw some black stuff coming through, and I was going to try to put some water on the outside because it was super duper hot. I actually accidentally splashed the water on the inside here, and it looks like I blew that black stuff out, possibly. I don't know. Let me see if I can dig this stuff out of there. I need to get a tungsten rod because I got water in there this time, and the salt is pretty hard this time. Let's see what I can find. Right out here. Here's a little screwdriver. Try to loosen this up a little bit. Yeah, look at that. The salt is like really, really hard now. Looks like some of it's kind of gray. Let me try to dump. Yeah, see, the salt's looking gray. Look at that. There's gray stuff that worked its way up into the salt. That's probably mercury. Oh, very cool. So I'll dump that into there. See that? There's gray stuff in there. What the heck is that? It's not liquid, though. Looks like a bunch of gray stuff evaporated up into the salt. Wow. Okay. The salt's looking pretty gray, and there's gray stuff that came all the way up. Let's see. Maybe I can focus this better. Let me see. See, it's looking really gray all the way up in there. And the salt's looking pretty gray too. This time I ran it for a long time, and the pliers, or the pipe wrench that I was holding was getting pretty freaking hot. Looks like I'm starting to see some Cinnabar in there. Maybe I'm digging too deep. I'm seeing some reddish stuff in there. Look at that. That salt is gray. Normal table salt does not look like that. I'll put some normal table salt right beside of it so you can compare it. Okay, so here's the salt that I dug out of our little contraption thing there. And here is table salt. Look at that. It's a lot whiter. Turn on the light. Gray, white. Okay, very interesting. Let me get some water maybe. Here we got some water here. Let me try adding some water to the salt that I dug out and see what happens. Actually, maybe I'll zoom in on. Okay, so we got it focused in there a little bit better. Looks like there's a lot of black stuff in there. Get any mercury out of this? Maybe if I let it sit for a while, the mercury's probably all scattered. Yeah, I think I see little speckles in there. Look at that. I do see mercury in there. Might be hard to see, but there's little speckles. Yeah, if I let it run around some, it will join together. Yeah, look at that. Yes, I definitely see little tiny dots of mercury in there. Maybe I can look under the magnifying glass. Okay. There's little speckles in there. And those are liquid metal when I was moving them around. Okay, looks like I was able to make a little ball of mercury out of the things that were, little bits that were in there. It's right there. It's metallic. It kind of sticks to this, probably mercury oxide. It's sticking to my little piece of glass now. Maybe the mercury oxide sticking to the glass. You can definitely see it's metallic. And it's kind of surrounded by this black stuff. Let's see if I can maybe make the ball a little bit bigger. You see, it's definitely metallic. Piece of mercury that I got out of there. It's amalgam probably with that other stuff. Get some more of these little bits of mercury. Okay. Looks like there might be a bit over here. Let's see if we can make a big chunk out of what we got so far. Very cool, huh? Anyway, all my methods so far have been failing. I saw a video on YouTube where a guy mixed some Drano, sodium hydroxide, with some sulfur. I have some sulfur, but I don't know where it is, and I wonder if that's really necessary. Maybe I'll just try it without the sulfur. Just try my own variation of it. Add some sodium hydroxide in there. And let's see, I need a stir stick or something. Well, maybe this will do. This stuff can get pretty hot when you mix it with water. And so I'll try it without the sulfur. I don't know why you need sulfur, because the freaking Cinnabar's got sulfur in it. But maybe I'm missing something. Let's try this and see what happens. We'll add a little bit of that. Maybe add a little. I'm gonna have to put the camera down to get the Cinnabar out. Okay, so here is the Cinnabar. And we'll just try adding a little bit of that into there. Okay, that's probably good enough. We got some Cinnabar in there. We got some sodium hydroxide. Maybe a little bit more sodium hydroxide. Yeah. There we go. And we'll stir this up, and then we'll add some aluminum foil to reduce it once we get the Cinnabar, hopefully in the solution. That's neat how it clumps together. We'll try stirring this crap up. Again, the other guy added sulfur. I don't know why this. I'm not a chemist, but I don't know why you need sulfur. We'll stir this up with our little eyedropper thing. And I'll try adding some aluminum foil. Aluminum is a super reducer. It can reduce anything. Yeah, I'll stir that for a while and see if, I'm not sure if this stuff's going to dissolve or not. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Oh, okay, well, it might be dissolving, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let's swish it around some. I'll have to add some more sodium hydroxide. That's the poor man's chemistry. Oh, look at that, it looks all sparkly and everything. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, let's take a look here. I think some of the Cinnabar might have dissolved, but maybe not all of it. I don't know. I hope some of it dissolved. Anyway, I've been stirring it up for a couple hours, and it's still got junk on the bottom. Let me just, that's the fun part. This is, if there's any dissolved in the solution, it should be reduced by the aluminum foil. Maybe I'll try to push the aluminum foil down to the stuff that's on the bottom, so it's in contact with that stuff. Just hold it down with this stick. And look at that, how fun. This is the best part. I'll start putting aluminum foil in there. Ooh, 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 ooh. Look at the, oh my gosh. Steam's coming out the top of that little tube thing that I made. Okay. Very cool. And we'll see if we get mercury or if we get a big mess. Hopefully we get some mercury out of this. And maybe if I put too much Cinnabar in there, maybe I can reclaim it and use it in a second batch or something. I don't know. Just kind of dumping stuff in here and seeing how it works. There's like smoke coming right out of the aluminum tube. See that? Very cool, huh? Wow. Anyway, hopefully this is making mercury and not just making a mess. Let that run for a little bit, and we'll come back and probably put some more aluminum foil in and check on it. Very cool. Wow, holy cow. The water turned all dark after one strip of aluminum foil. Let's see, is there anything good in there? I don't know. Can't tell. I'll put another strip of aluminum foil in. See what happens. Okay. Let me get it ready. Okay, I just tore off a strip and folded it a couple times. Let's stick it in here. Put this thing again to hold it at the bottom next to the stuff that needs to be reduced. Not having confidence that it's actually dissolving, but maybe it'll act like a battery if I put it next to it. I don't know. I'm not a chemist, I'm an engineer. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, well, it's doing something. Hopefully it's going to make some mercury. Very cool. Wow, it's getting really dark in there. After just putting a few aluminum things in. Not sure if I see any mercury yet, but you might have to put a lot of aluminum in there because aluminum is very thin, and you have to, yes, do it by the molar. It's not going to be the same mass because chemistry goes by moles or how many number of atoms. But oh, is this still working? Oh, yep, there it goes. Yep. Put some more aluminum foil in. Try to mash it down here on the bottom. So I'm not sure if that red stuff is dissolving. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Cinnabar. Not sure if the Cinnabar is dissolving the way it's supposed to. If it doesn't dissolve, it may not reduce properly. So we'll have to see if this works or not. Okay. Just mash this whole thing in there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Wow. Okay, we'll let that run. I gotta get out of here because this really smells bad. It really releases some terrible gases when you do this. Should probably do it outside. Okay, yeah, it's taking lots of aluminum. It's taking me days to just put a little bit in at a time because it gets really hot. And you can see it's shooting stuff out the top all over the place. As it sizzles. Okay, wow. Okay, this is annoying. I thought I saw some balls of mercury in there last night, and some along with the red stuff. And I put some aluminum foil in and let it bubble, and it just bubbled over, and it just turned everything into this gray goo. It used to be separate. I put some of it in these separatory funnels. These, not separatory funnels. These oh God, what do you call them? And it looks like it's separating out some of the liquid stuff, but I don't see any solid stuff anymore. I don't see any mercury. Everything is homogeneous, this disgusting gray stuff. And I don't know, I think I'm going to have to clean this up and start over. What a disappointment. Okay, I guess I will start over. Here we have some reverse osmosis water in a mason jar, and I'll pour some sodium hydroxide in there. And have a new clean stirring rod, glass tube. I'll stir this stuff up. Okay. And I'll try to add a little bit less of the Cinnabar this time, and see if I can get it all to dissolve, because I think it's not too good when it's sitting on the bottom like that. We'll see if we can't get some mercury out of this. I know I saw some mercury bits in the other one, but I messed it up I don't know what happened. Okay, let's stir that up until that dissolves. Then we'll try putting some Cinnabar in. Okay, so here's our bag of Cinnabar. I'll just take a little bit here, tiny bit, and stick it onto the aluminum foil, like so. I'll just fold the aluminum foil up around it to keep it in there. Okay, like so. And now it's got like an envelope all around it, and so it's all in contact with the aluminum foil. I can, let's see, where's my stir rod? I'll stick this into the sodium hydroxide. Look at that, it goes right down to the bottom almost. And put our stir rod in there to hold it against the stuff on the bottom, and hopefully it will reduce whatever's down there. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Ah, God. It wants to float because the hydrogen's bubbling it up. Okay, there. I got it pinned to the bottom. Okay, we'll let that go and see how that works. See if this works better. Beautiful. Again, that one chemist put the sulfur in there. He claimed it was creating some complex or something to help dissolve everything. It didn't work for me, but I didn't go by his recipe either, so maybe I put too much in. But you think it would do something. Anyway. Holy cow. I rolled it up into a ball. And it's like shooting stuff out. It's just going crazy. Oh. I can't even hold it down. I gotta get out of here. Those fumes are getting too bad. Wow. Okay, I've been continuing to put little packets like this with aluminum foil and Cinnabar in there. And it looks like the water's all turning black, and Cinnabar starting to build up on the bottom. Or if I should take some of that out and just put it into the aluminum foil, because I don't want it to build up too much in there. Last time I lost that whole batch. I think it needs to be in contact with the aluminum foil or dissolved. It doesn't seem to be dissolving, so it's probably got to be in contact with it. Okay, so I've been wrapping the Cinnabar up in aluminum foil and putting it into sodium hydroxide. And I think, here, let me see if I can find it again. Oh, come on. Oh, there it is. Oh, let's see it for a second. Under the sludge. Okay. There is a bead of mercury in there. Oh, come on. Oh, there it is. Can you see it? Right there on the bottom. Oh, it's getting covered up with the sludge again. Okay. Right there. I'm trying to, I think I'll try to separate it out, because last time, I don't know what happened, but when I let the water get too low, it just turned into this gray stuff, which I may have to reprocess. Oh, it's freaking terrible. There's definitely a fairly large size bead of mercury in there. I'll try to pull that out and separate it so I don't lose it like I did on the other batch. Okay. Very cool, huh? Okay, so here is our jar, and we'll just put the stuff into a petri dish, I guess. Oh, did it come out? I think that's it right there. Let's take a look. Okay, there's all of our hard work. A bead of mercury from Cinnabar. So I think I'll separate that out and put it in a little vial and continue with the separations before I lose any more. Okay, very cool. Definitely a bead of mercury. Look at that. Okay. Okay, there we go. There he is. See if I can focus in on that. There is our mercury. We got separated. Very cool, huh? It's got a little bit of water in with it. Maybe I should put a little bit more water because that stops it from evaporating. Okay, so there's our mercury. Very cool, huh? That was created from Cinnabar. Mercury from Cinnabar.